Have you ever had that strange, sinking feeling of relationship déjà vu? You're sitting across from someone new, maybe on a third date or even a few months in, and a cold recognition washes over you. It's not in the way they look, but in the way they make you feel. That familiar ache of trying too hard, that slight anxiety of not knowing where you stand, that subtle, unspoken sense that you are giving far more than you are receiving. And you think to yourself, how did I end up here again? I keep meeting the same person, just wearing a different face. It's one of the most frustrating cycles in human experience. We consciously crave a partnership built on stability, mutual respect, and emotional connection. We might even make a list, write in a journal, or tell our friends exactly what we're looking for: someone kind, available, and consistent. Yet, our emotional GPS seems to be broken. It keeps rerouting us back to the same dead ends, to people who are fundamentally incapable of giving us the love we say we want. This is the central paradox we need to unpack. Why do we consciously seek healthy love, but unconsciously find ourselves magnetically drawn to people and situations that are guaranteed to cause us pain? The answer isn't that you're cursed or have bad luck. The truth is deeper and more psychological. Our attractions are not random. They are patterns, and these patterns are telling us a story about ourselves. Let's explore some of the most common types of wrong people we find ourselves drawn to. Not to judge, but to understand the magnetic pull. First, there's a classic archetype many of us fall for: the project. This is the person who is dripping with potential, but is currently a bit of a beautiful mess. They might be struggling with their career, emotionally distant from a past hurt, or wrestling with habits they can't seem to shake. They are a diamond in the rough, a fixer-upper, a masterpiece waiting to be completed. And you? You see yourself as the artist, the healer, the one person with the unique combination of patience, love, and insight to help them finally become the incredible person you know they can be. The psychological pull here is intoxicating because it's not really about them. It's about the role you get to play. Being the savior makes you feel needed, important, and in control. Your love isn't just a feeling, it's a mission. The relationship gives you a sense of purpose. Think about the friend you know who is dating someone who is chronically in between jobs. Their partner has big dreams, but very little follow-through. Your friend spends their evenings editing resumes, giving pep talks, and financially supporting them, all under the belief that once their partner gets on their feet, the relationship will finally be balanced. But the day of arrival never seems to come. The attraction isn't to the person as they are, but to the fantasy of who they could be with your help. The deep, unspoken truth is that focusing on fixing someone else is a brilliant way to avoid working on yourself. It feels productive, selfless even, but it's a distraction. Your entire relationship becomes about their problems, their potential, their progress. There's no space left for your needs, because your primary need has become the need to be needed. Then, there's a much more subtle and perhaps more damaging type we attract: the critic. Unlike the project who needs you to fix them, the critic makes you feel like you're the one who needs fixing. This person doesn't shower you with praise. Instead, their affection is conditional, rationed out in small, infrequent doses. They might make little comments about your clothes, your friends, or your ambitions, not in a blatantly cruel way, but as constructive feedback or just being honest. They create a dynamic where you are constantly on trial, always auditioning for their approval. And here's the twisted psychological hook. Because their validation is so scarce, it feels incredibly valuable when you finally get it. It's a psychological principle called intermittent reinforcement, the same thing that makes gambling so addictive. You never know when you'll hit the jackpot of their approval, so you keep pulling the lever, investing more and more of yourself in the hope of a payout. A simple compliment from them feels more meaningful than 1,000 compliments from someone who gives them freely. You find yourself changing your behavior, second-guessing your opinions, and shrinking parts of your personality just to please them. Maybe you stop wearing that bright color they once called a bit much, or you stop talking about a hobby they deemed silly. You're in a constant state of performance, trying to earn a love that should be given freely. The relationship becomes centered around proving your worthiness, not sharing your authentic self. Deep down, the attraction to the critic is often born from a core belief that love is something that must be earned, not something you are inherently deserving of. It feels familiar to be striving, to be just falling short, to be constantly trying to be better for someone else. It's an exhausting way to live, confusing effort with love. Finally, there's the third common pattern, which is perhaps the most romanticized and the most heartbreaking. It's the attraction to the fantasy. This is the person who is perfect for you in every way, except for one giant, insurmountable obstacle. Maybe they live in another country with no plans to move. Maybe they are crystal clear that they don't want the same things in life. You want children, they don't. You want to settle down, they want to travel the world indefinitely. Or maybe, and this is a common one, they are simply not emotionally available. They might still be in love with their ex, or they might be allergic to commitment. Whatever the details, the reality of the situation makes a true, sustainable partnership impossible. But you don't focus on the reality. You focus on the fantasy. You live in the what-ifs and some days. The connection feels so profound, so special, that surely one day, the universe will bend the rules for you. The psychological safety here is that a fantasy can't truly reject you. By choosing someone who is fundamentally unavailable, you subconsciously protect yourself from the vulnerability of a real relationship. A real relationship involves risk, conflict, and the messy reality of two imperfect people trying to build a life together. A relationship with a fantasy, however, can remain perfect precisely because it's not real. You can pour all your hopes and dreams into this person without ever having to test them against the friction of daily life. It's the ultimate form of emotional self-protection. You get to experience the highs of falling in love without ever facing the potential lows of true intimacy. These patterns, the project, the critic, and the fantasy, aren't just about bad choices. They are windows into our own inner worlds, revealing the unmet needs, old wounds, and deep-seated beliefs that secretly drive our quest for connection. So the real question becomes, why do we do this? Why do we fall for the project, chase the critic, or pine for the fantasy, even when a part of us knows it will lead to heartache? The reason is both simpler and more profound than you might think. It comes down to a fundamental wiring error in our emotional brains. We consistently mistake what is familiar for what is safe. Think about it. Your childhood environment is your first definition of love. It's the emotional blueprint from which all future relationships are built. And whatever that environment was, whether it was warm and secure or chaotic and unpredictable, it becomes your normal. It becomes home. So, If you grew up in a household where you had to take care of an emotionally immature or struggling parent, where your role was to be the responsible one, the fixer, the little adult, then a relationship where you have to save someone doesn't feel like a burden. It feels like home. The dynamic of pouring your energy into a project feels natural because your sense of self-worth was forged in the fire of being needed. Love, to you, isn't about receiving. It's about giving until you're empty, because that's how you learn to prove your value. Or maybe you grew up with a critic. Perhaps you had a parent whose love felt conditional, who praised your achievements but always with a small caveat. You get a 95 on a test, and the first question is, what happened to the other 5 points? You learned early on that love is something you earn, that you have to constantly strive and perform to be worthy of affection. So when you meet a partner who doles out praise sparingly and keeps you on your toes, it doesn't register as a red flag. It registers as a familiar challenge. Your nervous system recognizes the pattern of striving for approval. The anxiety of trying to be good enough feels like the spark of love, because that's the emotional signature you know. And what about the fantasy? The attraction to the unavailable person almost always has roots in a relationship with an emotionally unavailable caregiver. This could be a parent who was physically present but emotionally distant, lost in their own world. Or a parent who was literally absent. You learned to love a ghost. You filled in the blanks with your imagination, creating a perfect version of them in your mind. You loved the idea of them more than the reality of them. So as an adult, choosing a partner who is physically or emotionally out of reach is a perfect reenactment. It allows you to stay in that familiar, safe space of loving from a distance, where the fantasy can remain pristine, and you don't have to risk the messiness of a real, available human being. We are not seeking pain on purpose. We are seeking what we know. We are unconsciously trying to return to the scene of the original crime to solve it, to finally get the distant parent to turn around, to finally get the critical parent's unqualified approval, to finally heal the broken parent and make them whole. We're trying to fix the past by reliving it in the present. But here is where it gets even more complicated. There's another layer to this pattern, and it's a powerful form of self-protection. Choosing someone who is fundamentally incapable of loving you the way you need is actually a brilliant subconscious strategy to avoid true vulnerability. Think about it. If you choose someone you know deep down can't show up for you, their eventual failure to do so doesn't feel like a devastating personal rejection. It feels like an inevitability you saw coming. It still hurts, but it confirms a story you already believed, that you are destined to be let down. You can blame it on their issues, their unavailability, their brokenness. You can tell yourself, it wasn't me, it was them. This shields your ego from the terrifying possibility of being fully seen and fully loved by someone who is available, and then having them decide you're not enough. That would be a direct hit to your soul. Choosing an unavailable partner is a preemptive strike against that ultimate fear. It's like entering a race you know you can't win. You can't be disappointed when you lose. You're protecting yourself from the crushing vulnerability of true intimacy. A real, healthy relationship requires you to stand in the open with no excuses and no one to fix and say, "Here I am, all of me. Is it enough?" Choosing the wrong people ensures you never have to ask that terrifying question. Ultimately, this entire cycle is a mirror, reflecting your deepest beliefs about yourself. We accept the love we think we deserve. If you believe, on some unconscious level, that you are a project to be fixed, you will attract a critic to point out your flaws. If you believe your needs are a burden, you will attract a project whose needs will always eclipse your own. If you believe that real love is too dangerous, or that you are fundamentally unworthy of it, you will attract a fantasy that keeps it safely out of reach. The pattern isn't about them. It was never about them. It's about you. It's a homing beacon sending a signal out to the world. And the people who respond are the ones who fit the emotional puzzle piece you're carrying from your past. Changing this pattern isn't about learning to spot red flags better. It's about healing the part of you that is drawn to them. So looking at these patterns, where do you see yourself? Are you trying to heal an old wound by replaying the past? Or are you protecting yourself from a love that feels terrifyingly real? Thinking about these things is the first step. I'd really appreciate it if you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell. It helps me create more content to help you understand yourself and the people in your life, and we've got a lot more to explore together.